fishing for the pure entertainment of catching fish. You know, when you go alone, that's one thing, but if you're with a group of people and it's just the camaraderie, the fellowship, we could have spread out, but this morning it was cold.
We started out at single digits this morning, and everybody said, oh, it's going to be miserable. Well, you get the camaraderie of the group together, and everybody warms up to it, and next thing you know, nobody's got hats or gloves on, and we're all enjoying ourselves.
Yep. Come on, fish, do something.
Outdoor Junkies!
Morning. So this morning, we're down here. We're at Blackhawk Lake. We're gonna, you know, it's easy access. You got the beach. It's a beautiful, beautiful park here in Iowa County, down Wisconsin, and offers really good fishing, bluegill fishing, crappie fishing. There's pike and walleyes and everything else that are constantly moving around, you know, eating these panfish and stuff. So this is the easiest access in this group. We got some retired gentlemen that are coming from all over the place. You know, they're Janesville, Milwaukee, a couple of fishing clubs. We've been trying to do this for 3 or 4 years now, and obviously you know as well as I do is the ice conditions were conducive enough to putting this many people in one area, and this is a group outing. You know, fishing is supposed to be fun. Yes, we have all the different electronics, and yes, we have all the new fancy gear and everything else, but they still have that camaraderie, if you will. So they all like to BS and have a good time and be a part of it, and they're going to fry out later. You'll notice that. And I went up to Blackhawk Outdoors here. I got our bait, you know, so I just got back. We got red spikes, we got waxworms, we got beaver tails, we have minnows, we have both large shiners and small shiners. So the amount of people that we have, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the tandem rig. You're going to see the tip-up action in full effect here today. So I'm going to run some Predators, which is a tip-up device, hook setting device, which is legal here in Wisconsin. And when a fish hits it, it takes off and sets a hook for you. But then our drag is loose enough that that fish can swim a little bit. And you'll see us set up a couple of those, and then we're going to set up a couple of drop shots. Everybody, you know, the whole thing about drop shots and everything else coming down through as far as ice fishing, you know, on tip-ups, people kind of freak out on me, and it's so simple, so effective, you know. So you'll see any of that, and hopefully we get some of these old boys running. We'll see what happens. Stick with us, Outdoor Junkies. We'll be right back.
Outdoor Junkies is brought to you by Bait Box on the Rock, Wisco Meats, Hunting Gear, Custom Jigs and Spins, Bear Sets, E-Fish and Tackle, and these fine sponsors. This has been a Stone Lake production. This segment is brought to you by Wisco Meats. For more information, go to wiscomeat.com.
So we buy 10,000 spikes at a time, and they come in bags of 1,000. And when you're running these, this is how we operate. We don't count them out. We just roll with it. So those are filled up. Now we're going to throw a couple of waxworms in there. You know, everybody, each one of them has a mixture of waxworms and spikes and all that. So the guys can choose whatever they want. There. I'm done baiting. I'm gonna go set tip-ups. I'm gonna line up with all the clam pucks here. You know, we get tubs at a time and they last forever, so it makes life a lot easier for ourselves. I got my waxworms and of course my Wisco Meats. I gotta have my little snacks, you know, little snacky snack. But then our waxworms sit right in the cooler, and then, you know, when we get hungry, instead of the fish, we just get after it. You know, maple is my favorite. But, you know, separating all these things, it's hard work. So I gotta get a little something in you. Find something there, bro? If they can't find something that they're looking for here, you got some fur. Here's all your smaller pinheads and everything else. Coming down through. If they really want to downsize, you got this downsize. But everything just sits right there real nice in the garage. Get into this pocket, and I have all my spikes and all my different pucks, first aid kit, so everybody has everything that they need. Then you get into this pocket. Here's my wallet. What's in your wallet? Here I got a lot of my other stuff there. The greenback from Lakewood, man, I'm telling you, it's one of them where a lot of people have a lot of different things and a lot of things moving around. And I just try to keep it convenient, right? And then you get into your business side. When I say business side, I mean business side. You ready? You ready? Hello, ladies! So, here's all my choose your weaponry, boys and girls. So we have all that stuff ready to rock. We'll just kind of, obviously, I'm not as nice and organized as a lot of people, but hey, welcome to the guide world, right? Let's get this stuff out of the way so we can go set some tip-ups. A lot of people go to the electric or stuff. I still like my LP. You know why? Because I always know it's charged. It might even start. Oh yeah, huh? So here's what I'm gonna do. While everybody's getting situated, I'm gonna run my line. So I'm gonna drill a hole here. I'm gonna run it out, and then we'll set it on the way back. Make sense? Here's our bullseye, right? We found some panfish in this area. They're here, they're finicky, high sun, cold weather. You know, it's that time of year. You know, it's we're in mid-January. It's kind of expected. You're gonna have to work for them. The ones that are finding fish, they're using little pinheads with a couple of wax worms. They've tried a couple of red spikes. They've tried beaver tail. Wax worms is a ticket. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start honing things in, right? So once we find the fish, once we know where the fish are and everything else, we're gonna set, you know, some tip-ups and some predators out on the perimeter, try to get some game fish going. I'm gonna show you how to set the predator for not only game fish, but also panfish if you'd like. So we'll play it by ear and we'll go from there. So we're gonna come out over here, we're gonna drill some holes, set some tip-ups and some predators. Hopefully catch a few fish. Got a couple of tip-ups drawn this way, so we'll kind of cover some different area, and don't be afraid. A lot of people are like, hey, how deep should I put them? Fish are fish, man. They're going to swim around. It doesn't matter if you're deep or shallow. You never know where they're going to be, so we're going to spread them out pretty good. If you're looking at your graph and you're jigging this way and your fish shows up, don't change your program. Whatever it was curious about and came up to, now it changed. It's like going after a blonde and then there was a brunette, right? Leave that brunette alone and go back after the blonde, so then go back to your program. I'll stop watching my graph. I'll seriously concentrate on exactly what I was doing, jigging cadence, and I'll watch my line, and I'll watch my rod. And these fish here, I can tell you, you're not gonna feel them. Come on, you dirty rat. Come on! Welcome back, junkies! Since you've been gone, we kind of figured them out. Well, of course, I was getting bigger crappies. Sure he was. Sure he was. Bigger crappies, he said. Oh, come here, Will. Oh, gosh. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's go. Okay. figured it out. So we had to downsize. Then we had to go from red spikes to wax worms. Then we had to go from 4 wax worms to 2 wax worms. Then we had to milk it a little bit. When we were talking about milking, I'm talking about, you know, taking and squeezing them a little bit, getting things going. You nudge it. That's one thing about these spring bobbers. Sometimes you have to have a spring bobber because they'll come up and they'll actually nudge it from the top. Oh, no! Right what I was talking about too. Come on! You know, so they'll come up and they'll just nudge it up, and that spring bobber has a natural tension. I'm not watching my graph at all. I know there's fish down there now, and they'll come up and they'll just bump it up, and
there you go.
oh yeah, I know. Even Brian's like, oh, there you go. Oh, I know. I'm a little slow at life. I think what's happening is my hands are so cold. It is cold out here today. It is. I mean, you can hear the ice popping and banging and all this other stuff. And I'm telling you, it's cold enough to be cold.
It's a balmy 5.
It is a balmy 5. Getting them to go. Oh, here he comes. Here he
Should
comes.
almost pull one of those
Here he comes.
rods over here with a little crappie minnow on it.
We can do that. Even the wax worms. I mean, no wrong with it.
Yeah, it's such a crazy hit. They just come in and go, choof.
That was not even a hit. I mean, this is a little dink again, but I mean, these things just, little crappie, you know, I mean, that's what's happening. This one is smaller than the ones I was getting before, but they just, such a light bite. Such a light bite. Oh, I'll stop. Oh, here's a little better one, maybe. Oh, and no. Sometimes you just can't lie when it comes to fishing. I'm gonna drill a couple more holes here and then invite some of these folks out here because there's fish here. You guys catching any fish today?
And one up to the hole.
All right.
We're not skunked.
There we go. All right. So when you're running tip-ups, you have a couple of different options. First and foremost, you've seen that I drilled the lines of holes, right? So I always like to run them in a straight line. That way I know where they are. I'm not sitting there at the end of the day, especially if it gets night, and I'm trying to figure out, oh, did I put it this way or that way or whatever. I run them in a straight line, and usually I run like 3 or 4 or 5 lines depending on how many people. There's a couple of different styles that you have. Some tip-ups are thermal tip-ups. You got the flag that pops up when you get a flag, and then you can turn the light on at night. You can adjust the shaft right here. When you adjust the shaft right there, the compression right here, so the more compression, the more it takes for it to take off. The less compression, the less it takes to take off, right? So on this one, I have a drop shot. How many people use drop shot during the summer? Yeah. How many people use drop shot during the winter?
No.
Yeah. Now this is going to count as 2 lines. I got my weight right there. I got a hook right here about, what is that, 10 inches up. I got another hook up here. That's another about 20 inches up on top of that. So when I drop it down, I'm going to have one that's going to be about 8 inches from the bottom and one that's going to be about 2.5 feet off the bottom. Okay? So you have one here, one there. And this is the best part. When I come over, grab this. Gonna let it roll. So right there, and boom. There's the bottom. I'm gonna take this over. All I'm gonna do is loop it in. So that's my bobber. All I'm gonna do, I use 80-pound braid. Just put a loop in it, cinch it. Now I got my marker. I don't need my marker because right there's the bottom. Gonna come down through this, come back like this. Bring this down here like this. And I'm set. I got 2 lines fishing, guys.
Well, good.
And you can set this as light as you want. You know, we're gonna go for pike, so we're gonna basically set it. Now, the best part is I didn't put anything in that water column other than the bait before the fish. Okay, so when you come over and you set a tip up, usually you take your depth finder, you find the depth, you shoot it down, then you bring it back up, then you put your bait on. I mean, you're going through all the processes where this right here was said and done. Now, a lot of times, and you'll notice when I'm done with this, what I'll do is I'll come back through and I'll drill a couple of smaller holes, especially if I'm using these for panfish. That way, if I'm using them for panfish, I can come back and see on that school of fish. So I'll set a couple of these for panfish as well, and you'll see that later. I'll drill a couple of holes, so if all of a sudden that goes up, I can go over and start jigging in the holes with my buddies right next to that fish. And I'll use that as a scouting technique. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the next one. Since this one is done and fishing, I don't have to worry about this. I know that I'm about 18 inches off the bottom with one and another one about 8 inches off the bottom. I'm set and done. This is 2 lines, you know, for one of our third. I'm gonna go over there, I'm gonna set a predator, show you how to set that. And then you guys can either continue on with me or you can go fishing, or if you're getting cold, you can go in the shacks or however you wanna do it, all right? The Predator. You have a hook setting device, and you can adjust this however you want it. Right here's the trigger system. If you're somewhere that's not a trigger system, you can switch over just to a regular system, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Predator right here. I'm going to set it right there. I'm going to take my skimmer so my fingers don't get cold. I'm going to come out like that. Now I'm going to grab myself a rod. Bait.
How long a rod do you use for that Predator?
Yeah, it all depends. Some people use the 38s and 36s. I use the 42. So this one is a 42. What I like to do here is you can take a Predator or a weight or whatever if you want, and you can put it on there and go down. I don't like doing that. All I'm going to do is pop that down through so again. Right, so I have a couple of beads. I have a clevis that I can put a blade if I want to have a blade on there that flickers and all that other stuff. I'm going to open that up.
Is there weight on there too then?
Nope.
Oh, no weight?
Nope.
Just naturally.
Yep, I don't use weight on these, and the reason I don't use weight on these is I like to have minnows swim wherever they want to go, however they want to do it. If a fish starts chasing, half of the chase, half of the fun is chasing, right, fellas? I mean, I'm going to loosen my drag down quite a bit, right? That way it can run. Now, here's the trick on this, right? So when you're going to set this, everybody really pay attention, okay? When you come down through like this, and you put this into the eyelid right there, you want to push all the way back so you can lock it in like this. Now I can move it around and it's not going to snap on my face. Because if you try to do the sensitivity right off the get-go, you're going to get it and it's going to suck, right? And now this flag goes right in that little clip right there, right? So now I can set it however deep I want it. Now I'm going to set the flag down below just like so. I'm going to set the sensitivity. As soon as that fish hits, sets the hook. Now this is going, I got a flag. There's something about running up to a rod. If this thing is cranked over and the closer you get and you hear that drag, it's like, it just adds to the excitement. It's like, oh man, here we go. Tip-ups are fun because you see the flag go up. These things, when you're running up and this rod's just a-pounding, it gets your heart going a little bit extra.
So we're about an hour away from lunch. We'll have soup and sandwiches, and if anybody brought anything else to add to the mix, so be it, but plan on noon lunch. It's soup time on the ice. Got chicken noodle soup.
Oh, wow. It's really good.
Head count here. Let's see.
Anybody want any jerky? A little Wisco Meats jerky here? I'll show the jerky, but I ain't showing the label. So here we are. We're wrapping things up. Some of the guys are taking off. I'm going to start clearing a couple of tip-ups to make sure that we're legal with the people that we have. You know, right now we're still good, but as they continue to trickle out, we just got done eating some of your famous chicken noodle soup. I'm telling you what, I wouldn't be opposed to eating that like every day. But that's probably why I look the way that I do. Tell them about the club that you have while I continue to pack up here.
Perfect. Yeah, so we've oriented ourselves out of a fishing club. Actually, it's part of a senior center in Milton, Wisconsin, called the Gathering Place. And we started a fishing club there for those that are fishing either independently or don't have an opportunity to fish. And we've gathered a membership now of 100 members. A lot of these people just don't have the equipment, they don't have the shelters, the heaters, and they're more oriented to summer fishing. So this just got us all out in the winter, and we'd love to have members from whatever distance they want to travel. We just enjoy the company of fishermen.
It was enjoyable. You know, some people took some fish home, and you know, the others they just learned a few things, hopefully. So nonetheless, it was a good day.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, junkies. You hear that? They're gonna feed us. Yes.
Last time I saw you was in the cities up at the ice show, Pat.
There he is. How the heck are you? We're gonna go and get aggressive.
Uh-oh. Don't tell me you're gonna catch a fish.
Oh, well, you know. Hey, I got some cookies.
You are.
I got cookies. Hey, while we're messing with Brian, why don't you guys go get a drink, and Outdoor Junkies will be right back with you.
Outdoor Junkies!
Outdoor Junkies is brought to you by Bait Box on the Rock, Wisco Meats, Hunting Gear, Custom Jigs and Spins, Bear Sense, Fish and Tackle, and these fine sponsors. This has been a Stone Lake production.